Most project management tools don't fail because they're bad, they fail because no one actually wants to use them after a few weeks. And if you have ever set up something like ClickUp, Asana, Notion, or Monday, you've probably felt this happen in real time. At the beginning, everything feels organized. You set it up, you map out your workflows, your team starts using it, and it feels like you finally have control over everything. But then over time, things start to slip. Tasks stop getting updated, people start asking questions in Slack instead of checking the system, work starts happening outside of the tool, and now you're not really sure what's actually accurate anymore. And that's the moment where it shifts from being helpful to just feeling like another thing you have to manage. I'm Erin from Paired, and in this video, I want to walk you through why this happens, what's actually going wrong behind the scenes, and what you should do instead if you want a system that actually sticks. Let's get into it. Why project management tools fail. The easiest way to understand this is to stop thinking about the tool and start thinking about behavior. Because on paper, most of these tools are great. They can organize tasks, assign ownership, track progress, automate workflows. They do everything they are supposed to do, but none of that matters if your team doesn't consistently use it. And that is where things start to break. When you introduce a project management tool, you're not just adding software, you're asking people to change how they work every single day. You're asking them to update tasks, to communicate inside the tool instead of messaging, to follow a structure they didn't create. And if that system doesn't feel natural to them, even if it looks good on your end, they are slowly going to stop using it. Not all at once, but gradually, until one day it's technically still there, but no one is really relying on it anymore. The real problem, it's not the tool. So at this point, most teams assume they just picked up the wrong platform, so they switch. They move from Asana to ClickUp, from ClickUp to Notion, from Notion to something else, thinking the next tool will fix the problem. But the issue usually isn't the tool itself, it's how the system was designed in the first place. Because what tends to happen is the setup is built around what looks organized, not what actually feels easy to follow. There are too many statuses, too many fields, too many steps just to move one task forward. And now instead of helping people move faster, the system feels like extra work. So people start working around it. They send messages instead of updating tasks. They keep things in their head. They skip steps because it's faster. And without realizing it, you now have two systems running at the same time. The one you built and the one your team is actually using, and that's where things fall apart. What this actually looks like day to day. And this is usually the moment where things start to feel off, even if you can't fully explain why yet. You open your project management tool and everything looks fine on the surface, but you don't fully trust what you're saying. So instead of relying on it, you start checking in with people directly. You ask for updates, you follow up on things that already look done, you double check timelines just to be safe, and now without realizing it, you're doing the job the system was supposed to handle. That's when the tool stops saving you time and starts costing you attention, because instead of giving you clarity, it creates uncertainty. So naturally, your team starts adjusting. They go back to what feels faster. Conversations move to Slack, decisions happen in messages, and the tool becomes something you update after the fact instead of something you rely on in real time. And once that happens, it's really hard to reverse unless you change how the system works at its core. What actually makes a system stick? So if the problem isn't the tool, then what actually works? It really comes down to how easy the system feels to use in real life. Because if something feels like effort, people avoid it. If it's unclear what needs to be updated, people skip it. And if it doesn't directly help them do their job faster, they stop caring about it. A system only works when it fits into how people already think and operate. So instead of trying to track everything perfectly, it usually works better to simplify things as much as possible. Fewer steps, fewer decisions, clear ownership. Because the goal isn't to build the most detailed system, it's to build one that people will actually use without thinking about it. Why more structure usually makes it worse. And what makes this tricky is that most people try to fix the problem by adding more structure. They think if they just organize things better, define more steps, or track more details, the system will start working the way that it's supposed to. But what actually happens is the opposite. Every extra step adds friction. Every additional field slows people down, and over time, using the system starts to feel heavier than just doing the work itself. So instead of engaging with it naturally, people start minimizing how much they interact with it. They'll do just enough to get by, but not enough to keep it accurate. And now you're in a situation where the system looks complete, but doesn't reflect what's actually happening. So instead of asking how to improve the system by adding more, it usually works better to simplify it until using it feels almost effortless. Because the easier it is to use, the more consistently people will rely on it. Where teams get stuck. And this is usually the point where teams feel stuck. They can tell something isn't working, but they don't know how to fix it without rebuilding everything again. And the idea of redoing the entire system feels overwhelming, especially if the team already struggled to adopt it the first first time, so nothing really changes. The tool stays in place, people use it inconsistently, and over time it just becomes something that exists in the background instead of something that the team relies on. And this is where it shifts from being a tool problem to a operational problem, because now it's not just about tasks or workflows anymore, it's about how work actually moves through your business, where things get stuck and who's responsible for that. And honestly, this is where a lot of founders lose time, because even when you know something isn't working, figuring out how to restructure workflows, simplify systems, and get your team aligned again isn't always straightforward. That's exactly where something like Paired can help. Instead of trying to rebuild everything yourself, Paired connects you with people who already understand how to set up and manage these systems properly so they actually work day to day. What to do instead? If you're dealing with this right now, the biggest mistake is trying to fix everything at once. It usually works better to zoom in on one part of your workflow, something specific like content, onboarding, or internal tasks. And instead of asking how to make it perfect, just ask where it breaks. Where do things slow down? Where do people get confused? Where does work start happening outside the system? Then rebuild that one part, but keep it simpler than you think it needs to be. Not perfect, just usable, because once one workflow actually works, it becomes much easier to expand from there. How you can tell if it's actually working. And one of the easiest ways to tell if your system is working is to look at what happens when you're not involved. If you step back for a moment, does the team still use it the same way? Are things getting updated without reminders? Are people checking it before asking questions? Does it actually reflect what's happening in real life, or does everything start to fall apart the second you stop paying attention to it? Because a system that only works when you're managing it isn't really working. The goal is to reach a point where the tool becomes part of how the team operates, not something they have to be told to use. When that happens, you stop chasing updates, and instead you can just open the system and immediately understand what's going on. That's when it shifts from being something you manage to something that actually supports you. Why the right setup matters more than the tool. At the end of the day, the tool itself isn't what determines whether this works, it's how the system is set up. Two teams can use the exact same platform and have completely different experiences. One feels smooth, clear, and easy to follow. The other feels messy, confusing, and frustrating. And the difference isn't the software, it's how the workflows were designed and how well they match the way the team actually operates. So if your system isn't working, switching tools usually isn't the answer, fixing the structure is. If your current setup feels messy or like your team isn't really using it the way you expected, it's usually not something that fixes itself over time. And trying to rebuild it on your own can take a lot longer than you think. If you want help getting this set up properly from the start, Paired is a really solid option. They connect you with pre-vetted talent who understand operations and can actually build or follow the systems that your team will stick to. If your system isn't being used, it's not working. At the end of the day, this isn't about finding the perfect tool. It's about having something your team actually uses without thinking about it. Because the best system isn't the most detailed one, it's the one that quietly works in the background and keeps everything moving. If this helped, make sure to like and subscribe to Paired for more videos on hiring, onboarding, and building systems that actually work. And if you're trying to fix this inside your business or build a stronger team around it, you can also book a free strategy call with us down below. I'm Erin from Paired. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.